Alright, so I'm back again with another video, walking around the neighborhood bored once again. So I just decided to make another video like I did last night and comparing both consoles. And I'm going to be comparing the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox. So really, what was the phenomenal, console? What was better than the other? Now, like on my last video, I said the Xbox 360 was a lot better than the PlayStation 3. I felt like it was just better. I was more of an Xbox fanboy, at that particular time. But now, when I was younger, I actually was more of a PlayStation fan. Like I was a big fan of PlayStation 2. That's what I played. And I did play the original Xbox as well, but after I was done playing the PlayStation 2. And really, both systems really had, like, again, they're good, the good stuff about them, the bad stuff about them. But then again, for the original Xbox, you had certain games that were only, for the system, and other games for PlayStation that were only for that system. I think there was a couple. I think Halo was one of the first ones for the original Xbox that was an only game. I think for PlayStation, that's when God of War started. God of War was there. I don't even remember what other fucking games. I think there were some other games, but it was God of War, I know, for PlayStation, and then Halo. I think that was really it. But anyways, so really look at it. I think that PlayStation was a lot better because you really think about it. I mean, Xbox really started to go downhill. Original Xbox started to go downhill like 2005, 2006. I mean, that's when like all the games really started to stop for that system. And if you look at PlayStation, they were still coming out with like sports games until like, oh my god, until like probably like 2014. I mean, PlayStation 2 just lasted a lot longer than the original Xbox, and they just like, I remember there was like a lot of games that came out for the PlayStation 2 that didn't come out for the original Xbox. And I think that was like one of the like really bad things about Xbox that PlayStation did have, was that they released so many more games than the original Xbox. The original Xbox, had good games, but like I said, they stopped making them in like 2005, 2006. PlayStation didn't stop. They stopped the majority of the games, like the early action games and everything like that, probably like 09, 08. But that's a few years after the original Xbox stopped. Like I said, they came out with sports games till like 2014. Like FIFA 14 was on the PS2. Like, that's crazy. So I think that PlayStation 2 overall did last longer. So that's one good thing about PlayStation 2. Xbox, not so much. But it still had its good games, right? Alright, so we're going to talk about the online. I didn't really play online, but I have done some research on how it worked and everything. You had to have like something plugged into the Xbox, to the PlayStation. And you also, you had to have something plugged into the PlayStation 2, but you can also still play online for free, like you did like you can with the PlayStation 3. And the original Xbox, you had to pay. And you had to pay for that, and that's really how it went. We have to remember, this is just like when online was really starting to unfold and really really unfold and really take its course through online multiplayer as we know. So I think it was kind of hard. I think this pro is probably both the same with online, with PlayStation 2 and Xbox. I don't think like with the 360 and PS3 there's something that really showed a difference between both systems with the online multiplayer. But I think PS2 and Xbox honestly tied. There's no each one that's better. I guess you say maybe Xbox had to pay for it, but other than that, it's really tied. But and then again, like I said with the games, PlayStation had God of War. God of War 2 is fire, bro. That's another thing too. God of War 2 was fire. That shit was fucking such a good game, bro. It was such a good game. It was a great fucking game. That shit was amazing. That game was a lot better than the first one. God of War 1 was still good. God of War 2 was like great, bro. What else do we got here? So We also have, like I said, Xbox. We got like the regular Halo, Halo Combat Evolved, and then we got Halo 2, Halo Combat Evolved. Great game, good game. But then again, I really liked Halo 2 as well. It's really hard to say, you know what I'm saying, because I have played both of these systems, you know, but really overall, I mean, Xbox, the original Xbox and PlayStation 2, it's just really good systems. But I think in this one, I think PlayStation 2 honestly just takes it. And it's funny because I'm just a little over 5 minutes into this video. That's it. And I'm thinking that PlayStation 2 takes the cake. Because it kind of just does, man. It kind of just does. And that's the truth about it, you know, really for me. You know, PlayStation 2, it takes the cake, bro. Than the original Xbox. And that's just the truth. You know, and I know there's other things to talk about. You know, I guess you could talk about the controllers. I mean, people were bitching about the Xbox controllers, you know, them being too big, and people still are. You know, and you know, have that, and then, you know, the PlayStation 2, you know, they were smaller remotes, so people like them. And that's really just a fucking preference right then and there. I'm not even gonna lie, but you know, I guess if you had like baby hands, like, I guess if you were like somebody that was like weighed like 150 pounds and you were like 6 foot, you know what I'm saying? You got like twig arms and shit. Yeah, maybe PlayStation for you, and maybe you can't handle the Xbox remote. But don't be a little bitch. Damn. But you know, that some people just used to always complain about that. I just thought it was so stupid. But you know, that's just really a preference, really. I mean, the original Xbox controllers really were that big. Now that I think of like the release ones, the release date original Xbox controllers, huge, bro. Huge. Damn. Anyways, and then my PlayStation 2, you know, had small controllers. I like them too, you know, nothing wrong with them. You know, I do like the triggers on the Xbox 360. I do like those, but the original Xbox controllers, the triggers, I do like the triggers, like the LT and RT, a lot better than the PlayStation's, you know, R2 and L2. You know what I mean? But really comparing both these systems, I mean, they had so many good games, but I do feel PlayStation 2 lasted a lot longer, and you know, it just it just had that feel for it. And I mean, the original Xbox did, you know, it lasted for some time, but like I said, like 05, bro, honestly, you know, is when it really started to cut off, because, you know, 07 is when the 360 came out, and that's when Halo 3 came out, and everybody started playing on that, you know, and it wasn't that, you know, people still playing original Xbox for a couple of years, but a lot of people, you know, within probably like 2 years of the Xbox 360 coming out, a lot of people just got that system, you know, especially if you're like a real gamer. But, you know, I'm trying to figure out what else to talk about. But, you know, in my opinion, then again, like I said, I think PlayStation 2 really takes the cake. You know, you can say that, you know, Xbox had, I don't really know. It's hard to really say because it's not really true. I mean, you know, Xbox had, you know, less glitches in the game or some weird shit. I don't even know, man. Like, some people might argue something weird like that. You know, you could say the graphics. And the graphics really, man, I mean, I think, don't bet me on this, but I'm research. I think the original Xbox had a little bit better graphics than PlayStation 2. It wasn't that PlayStation 2 didn't have decent graphics, you know, for its time. You know, like, that's not that wasn't true. That isn't true. It wasn't true, but with you know, with the systems, it's kind of just tied. But you know, I just feel like PlayStation 2 overall had a better, you know, this is a better game system. But yeah, so I mean, you know, I'm playing a game right now. I think in game called Indiana Jones: Staff of Kings for the PlayStation 2. Because I got a really good deal on the PlayStation 2 with $60, and that game came out in 2009. You know what I mean? So it was like one of those last action games. You know, I played, you know, Star Wars: The Force Unleashed that came out in 2008, and I also played that on the PlayStation 2. And I also played the game on the 360. I played the game on the 360 first, which was funny, and then I actually played it on the PS2 probably about a little less than a year ago now. And, you know, it was still fun, man. There were still fun things about it. I mean, it was definitely a little fucking, like, blocky and, like, especially when you focus on the guys, it was kind of weird. But it definitely had its, you know, good, you know, had its, you know, it had its fun, you know, fun things about it. And it's of course, it had some of its bad things. But, you know, you got to deal with some of the, you know, camera angle fixes and, you know, maybe some of the glitches. And, you know, sometimes the game may freeze in on these older consoles, but it's what you got to deal with. But anyways, I tried to talk about, you know, I really kind of talked about, you know, what I need to talk about. But I do feel PlayStation 2, it's not better than the original Xbox. They definitely do have, like I said, original Xbox has Halo, and Halo 2, and PS2 has God of War and God of War 2. Those games are definitely pretty good. Both of them are. It's honestly, I mean, that's kind of well, yeah, yeah. I want to say preference. Both games are fucking good, so I don't know how you don't like both games. I know God of War 2 got really hard at the end. That's something definitely about God of War 2 that was hard. I mean, you fight Zeus at the end, right, of God of War 2, man. That shit was so hard, man. Especially when you had the fucking button mash. You don't press that fucking circle button right away, you fucking get kicked on your ass by Zeus. You know what I mean, at the end of God of War 2. But anyways, guys, I think that's all I really have to say. And my vote with this one, I think PlayStation 2 takes the cake. I said it like 5 times already, but that's honestly my opinion. Share. I want some gamers to come on this channel. I'm going to try to post a mix of things. I post a lot of mental health topics and things like that. I'm going to talk about different things on this channel. It will be coming soon. So, thank you guys very much. Like, subscribe, comment. Peace.